Hi everyone, Emmy here. So in the last video we completed these guys, so hopefully you're at that stage. There was a few kind of hiccups with this. Let me fix the camera here. So there was a few hiccups in, where to put, let me enlarge this, where to put to continue these seed beads and whatnot. So I just left it as it is. So if you see, this one here has the seed beads all the way across and next to the crystals, but this one here doesn't. It has a Delica there. So I'm looking at this one here and it looks a bit small and it doesn't seem to be curling the way these are. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it, and I don't think once it's done you're going to really notice it, because now we're going to put a crystal in this area here and we're going to attach the other. What we're going to do in this video though is we're going to bezel the crystal Rivolis. So that is to go in between these little corners that's going to attach the egg. So let's put that aside. And I already have, you're going to need 5 of these Rivoli crystals. And for each bezel, you're going to need 4 4mm. I'm using Swarovski beads, pearls. And you're going to need 11O seed beads, the same color that you used for everything else. So we're going to put some of those out. Let me move these guys over. Put some of those out. So these are, let me look at them. They're 11O Toho, and I can't remember the color. I'll have to go back in the video and see this. So these videos I have been doing probably over more than 6 months. And part of the reason it's taking so long is because I've had a lot going on with medical issues, but also I saw this image of these eggs and I decided I wanted to create one of my own. So this has been kind of a design thing that I'm doing. So it takes a while to kind of, especially when you get into the little nooks and crannies and making decisions about where to put certain beads. So that's why it's taken so long. So I apologize. Hopefully this is something you'll enjoy doing, and the reason I put it in blocks of videos was to break it down, because once you break it down it's so much easier because you're just looking at that one specific thing. So hopefully you'll have the courage to try it out, because let me tell you, we're so close to the finish line right now. It's so awesome. And I just want to mention too, if you've seen any of the videos, and I will pin a message at the top of each video, if you're having trouble, definitely ask questions and I will either redo that video so that it makes it simpler, or I will help you work through it, because I enjoy doing this and I want to make sure other people have the same fun doing it. So let's take a look at the 4 that we've done already. So when I say I need 5, if you look at this here, count the corner pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's how many you need. So that's where you get that number. So I've done 4 already. And let's take a look at this one. This is what it looks like on the back. This is one of my favorite ways to bezel a crystal. It is so simple. It's so much simpler than doing, peyote around it. And I find it also doesn't cover up the crystal as much, which I like. So, and you can use whatever you want. You can do different variations to circle it. Let me enlarge that so you can see. So yeah, and we are going to place these ones in the egg in a diamond shape rather than a square. So it's going to go like that. Anyway, so let's take a look at the back. So to start with, we are going to pick up 4 seed beads and create a loop, and then we're going to start adding on each side. So let's take a look. You're going to need a 14 millimeter Swarovski. You could probably use something smaller, whatever you have, but then just remember you have to increase whatever you're doing here. So if you were doing this design with a smaller crystal, you got to remember you probably wouldn't add as many little rungs to this ladder so that it holds your crystal in place. And then when you get to this area here, you might want to add some stuff on the edges to fill in the space on the egg. So just, you know, this is very kind of easy to alter. So you need your 4 millimeter pearls, whichever kind, your 11/0 seed beads. Now for stringing material, I was using in the other videos, I was using the dragon thread from Potomac Beads, and I was using the smallest one, which is a, I think they call it a size 6. It's a 0.006 millimeter, I think. And they ran out of it, and I'm out. So I am going to use this one here, which is the size 8, and it's a 0.2 millimeter. Now I do find it's considerably thicker and darker than their other one that I'm using. So there's what it looks like, and it's quite stiff. You can see it holds that shape. This is what we were using in the other videos. You can see side by side the difference. Definitely a different color. I don't think it's going to matter, but I do suggest you use a color that's going to blend with your gold seed beads, and I find green thread is incredible. It, for whatever reason, it's concealed in the gold. So I would definitely recommend that. But you don't have to use a kind of fusible like fishing thread. Now this one's the Potomac bead one is specific to them, so it's just for beading. But you can use your Nymo thread. Just remember to wax your thread. What that does is it pushes all the fibers together so that it doesn't fray. Super important. So we'll put that aside and leave that there. So let's start out by adding 4. Now I'm using just short of a arm's width. You probably don't need that much. One of these bezels doesn't need a lot. So let's pick up 4. And I'm using a size 10 needle. I was surprised. Normally I use a size 12. You really don't need a size 12 on this. There's no 15 O's in it unless you're going to add some embellishment. And I miscounted there. I had a hard time threading my size 12 needle. I couldn't do it with the bigger thread. So it's been a while since I've used thick thread like this. So let's take it down to the bottom. And let's just move these up a bit so I can have the background of the mat so you can see what's happening. Okay, you don't have to go that far. Leave a bit of tail that you can work a knot into. So now I'm going to hang on to this. We are going to go back through all of them like that. I'll hang on to those. And this will loop around. So you bring your thread around. Here, there. So now let's tie a knot in here. Here's the other thing with this thicker knot, this thicker thread, is your knot's going to be bigger. It's going to be maybe a little bit harder to conceal in your beads. So just be aware of that. I think for this design, since it's at the back, you're not going to really see it. I think what I'll do is I'll just put 2 knots. Normally I put 3 because I'm a little cautious of it coming undone. But you can see that's a massive knot for a tiny seed bead. So then we're just going to clip Leave a little bit there so you can hide it. It's so lovely. I just sharpened my scissors. And just to let you know, it's probably a good idea. I think I might leave. Normally I would slide that into the bead, but we are going to be going through this bead frequently. Let me adjust the camera here. It's tilted and I'll be out of frame. We're going to go through these beads a few times, so that knot's going to be in the way if we pull it in. So I'm just going to leave it there. Just on the thread's a bit tangled. There we go. So you can see there's a knot there. Just leave it. You're not going to see it once we get going. So now, since we already went through once, I'm not going to go through again. Normally I would. So now we're going to start adding. We're going to add 2 beads to each side. So if you look, it's like a little square. So there's side 1, and then this side is side 2, this side 3, and that side 4. So that's what you get when you're, so your little square, side 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to pick up 2 11/0s, and I'm just going to hold on to that edge. You're coming out of this hole, this bead, and you're going to go into the very next one and come out of it. Then you're ready for the next set of beads to be added. So you just want to, this, like I said, this thread is stiff, so you want to just position your, let me turn this around, position your beads with your nail and pull down. I'm shocked at this thread here. It's just unbelievable. Flip that one over. This is so much easier when the thread's not like this. So there is your first row. So now, try and hold it here. And what you can do too is, rather than put a knot, put a stop bead in a strand, and the strand can help you hold this. So now you're coming out of this one, you're going to pick up 2 11/0s like that, and then you're going to go into the very next bead like that, and pop that down like that. So it doesn't look like much right now. It will eventually start to take shape. Just grab that with my nail, pick up 2 11/0s. Coming out of this bead here, you're going to go into the very next one. Like that. Pull that through and try and pop that one over. Not to worry, when you go up through it, it's going to put it in the position you need it. So now we're coming out of the next one. We're going to pick up 2. Coming out of this one, we're going to go into this one, avoiding the knot. I think my needle was going through the knot. And get those guys down. Okay. This one here is where it's coming out of this one here. Let me enlarge this. Now normally, just because this is the first one and the knot's there, it's hard to do. But what I would suggest is your needle will actually go through that one and the next one in the row. So our thread came out of this one, we're going to go into this one here. So this is, we're back to our first row. I'm just going to pull, see if we get any. This one's really misshapen on the side here, but we'll get to that. So we're coming out of this one here. We're going to go through this one. So let's add 2 11 O's. And you know what? That one seems small. Let me move that one aside. 2. So we're going to go, now we're going to go down through the 2 beads. So we're always going to go back to this square. And that's why I was saying about the knot. And actually, I'm thinking about this right now. I don't think this thread is going to work for this design because it's going to fill the holes very quickly. So let's see how far we get. So we want to, I'm going to look at the position of this bead here. So now that's the second bead in the row, and it's kind of mispositioned, so we want to go through the bottom of it like that. Once we add the next 2, it will get it into position. Just like that. Pick up 2 11 O's. So now we're coming out of that bead. We're going to go in through this one, and we can go all the way through to the second one, which is the first of the ones we added, like that. And flip that one over there like that. Okay. So again, we need to go through that second bead, through the bottom of it. Just make sure that's the right one. Pull that down. Pick up 2 and go through these 2 here. Like that. I may need a smaller needle too. This feels too tight. Okay, so now let's go through the bottom of this one here. This is our where our knot is. And pull that down. So you can just barely see that knot now. Pick up 2. Go through these 2 here. I think, let me go through one. I think we're going to have to change our needle to a smaller needle. Through there, see if I can get through this one. There. It's a bit sticky, and that's because of the knot. There. So you can see it's starting to build up. So now we need to go up those 2 beads here. I have a bad feeling we're not going to get through that bead on the next round. Let's go through those. Okay. I think we should try and change our needle now. Let's see if I can get a size 12 on there. Let's try this again. So I'm just pulling the thread with my nail to get it flat. Ooh, look at that, I got it. So that's quite tight there, but that's fine. Sweet. Okay. As my dad used to say, now we're cooking with gas. Like, really? Where'd you get that saying? I think my camera's too far away from me. So now, just remember too, your your middle four are going to be tilted slightly. So finding the way your needle's going to go through it might be difficult. So you might want to go through the multiple beads and then do that one on the last. Like do it separately. This is much better with the smaller needle. Okay, so now we need to go up these two. So you're basically following your thread up and around. Here, let's do it this way. Turn your work around a bit and go up through those guys like that. Pick up two 11-ohs, go down through. I'm going to go through two. The needle's getting hooked on some. Oh, it'll go through the three. I think with the smaller needle, it's. Make sure I have two. One of them must have fallen off. Just checking my thread. You guys probably saw it falling off. Okay, there we go. So now let's go up those two here. There we go. This is, I just really enjoy this design. I like the uniformity of it. And you know, I'm sure that's why I love beading, because it's so satisfying to create that uniformity. And that, I don't know, it felt sticky. I wonder if it went through the thread. There, it's just, that one bead is a lot bigger than the one next to it. So it will be fine once we get it attached. So now let's go up these two. So you're going to do this, let me, I believe 4 times. Yeah, 4 on each side. And just unhook your thread. There we go. Pull that all the way through there. That tightened it. Got it straight. So pick up two 11-ohs and then go down through these guys. See how far we can go through. I think we're going to do them separate on this one. And you can see I accidentally put 3. 1, 2, 3, yeah. And actually that makes me think too, you could actually add multiples of 2s. So you could put 4 and then you're ready to do your next position. So if you're having trouble with your passing through, so I have 3. So you could actually add 4 and it would create finish up the 4 that you needed. So let's take that one off. I almost went through again. And let's just move that thread out of the way. Okay, so 2 11-ohs and go down through these guys. Flip that one into position there. And then go through the bottom one. There. So definitely the smaller needle is helpful in this situation. Let me get my pliers here to get my needle out. There. And watch that it doesn't hook around your beads. There. Okay. So actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, we might be set. Let me double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we need we don't count the initial square. So let's go up these guys. Let me flip this, might be easier. Get the needle in. Go through all three, and we're going to add our fourth. Then with the square, it is 5. So pick up 2 11/0s and go down all of them. Just go down the 3, and then I'll come out and do the next one. Doesn't, ow, ow. It's there, went through all of them. Just turn and go up through the next row. Just wiggling my needle, see if I can get it through everything. I'll have to go through the last one separately. So it's there. That goes that way. So we got our 4 on there. Let's pick up 2 and go through. That went through all of them. There. Now let's go up the other side. There. Through. Unhook this. There. That's the other thing I find with the thicker thread is it gets hooked on things because it holds its shape. The other thread falls flat. Pick up 2 and go down as many as you can get through. I'm gonna go through 3 and then if I can, it's not happy. It's actually going through now. Go through. This is the times that you actually end up bending your needle. Let me see. Yeah, I went through the bottom. That's good. Let me just bring my thread back. So we need to go through this bottom one. And actually what we could have done when we added the last ones on here is we could have added 3 beads and then we'd be ready to go. These things are coming to me late in the game. So let's go up here. We'll go through the one and then the next ones, because then it'll be away from the knot. So the next 2. There. Pick up 2. So this is the spot that I was saying we could have on the other sides. We could have added 3 beads and then you would get these sitting like that, and then we're going to go through the single bead, but we're going to add another bead, so it doesn't really matter. You're going to have to go around anyway. So let's just keep it the same all the way around. But definitely, if you want to try that, I will give you permission. Oh, I do that to my wife. I'll say things like, Yes, you may. I will allow it. It's just like, what? You came to me for my knowledge. I will allow it. And then I go on to some big magisterial explanation as to why I allow the peasants to do things. We do so my wife sucks at cooking. I and you know what? It's kind of mean on some level because she grew up poor, so how would she learn to cook when you didn't have any food, right? And my mom was a cook and we had money and so okay, so we're gonna add one bead to each corner, and so we have to go through everything again. This is the downfall of this design, but once you see how easy it comes together, you'll be hooked doing it. So just add one and then go through everything. I'm just gonna see if that'll go through. No, just go through and then we'll do the last one. Here's the thing with this too. Now it's the back of the crystal. But if you want to avoid going through these strands all the time, you could actually add something in the middle that would bridge you across. So there's lots of options with this design. That's another reason why I love it. But yeah, so my wife, I don't know if it's the right way to say it. She doesn't know how to cook. Like she knows the elements, like she knows you have to turn the oven on and you have to do this. But then it just like the in between part all falls apart. So now we're going to go up to the other side and add one. So we quickly figured that out. And even her sons, when we just got together, they would tell me a story of her making, they had a name for it, this type of burger that she made. It was not a nice name. But apparently she made them burgers and they were all sick. And what it was is she decided she wanted to add spices to the burgers, like the meat, before she cooked it. And I guess she just went a bit overboard and added everything she could find. So, yeah, they were really sick from it. But, so we always joke. So I like to watch Gordon Ramsay and all the different variations of his reality shows. And so we started joking that, so we kind of came to this agreement. I told her I have no problem cooking, so why don't you let me cook? And she's like, well, I want to help, right? So I said, okay, well, you could be my sous chef. So of course you learn in like the Gordon Ramsay shows what a sous chef is, right? So she does all the chopping. She does all the preparation. She does the getting. She goes to the getting place. And so when we're in the kitchen and she says, do you need this or do you need that? Now I'm just looking, there's a thread here. I just want to make sure that this, okay, it just needs to be pulled. I was worried it was hooked on something. So we'll do our next one. So you see the little pattern coming up. So she'll ask me, okay, do you need anything else? Do you need this? Do you need that? And I'll say, yeah, can you? And she's gotten to the point where she knows to ask me how I want things chopped. So specifically, like onions, different recipes call for different ways to chop them. That one bead is hard to get through, so I'm going to do it separately. It might just be the way it's sitting. Let me see if I can go through it on the back side. I have her say, "Yes, chef." Like really, I can't hear you. Yes, chef. We joke all the time and say if people were in our kitchen and heard us talk, they would think we have the most dysfunctional relationship. Meanwhile, we're just doing it to joke. And just having problems with my fingers slipping on the needle. There. So I'm now on the back side of it. So if you go that way, but it makes it easier to go up. Grab my needle. Yeah, she's taken the sous cheffery to a whole other level now. Now that with COVID, now the restrictions have eased up, but because I have cancer, we're being really careful that I don't go out. So I hate grocery shopping. I always have. I've never enjoyed it. Like, I don't get why people enjoy it, but or do people enjoy it and just pretend they do? I don't know. But unfortunately, it's a reality of life. That's what my wife says. It's a necessary evil. If you want to eat, you need to shop. I'm like, no, I have you. And hence comes the comment about me being a princess. But, do you know what's funny? When she was working, like before she retired, and I was already retired, I would do all the grocery shopping, and I would do it just before she would finish work. So then I'd do the grocery shopping, and then I'd head over and pick her up from work. And so now we're going to go up. We've got one. We need to add a second one. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And then we're almost done. So this is like the most work there is to this. Now I am noticing this is super, I mean, it is kind of, but definitely with a thicker thread, it makes it a little more rigid, which isn't a big deal because it's these beads at the end that are going to hold everything in. So, I mean, these do their job, but it's the ones at the end that are a little more flexible. Let me see if I can get in here. There. Everything through there. Okay, so now go through that one bead, the last one we added on. Pick up an 11-0 and then go through the other side of that bead. Like that. And then we're going to go down this side and we're going to go and do the same for the other side. So you see you go through these a lot. Definitely the thinner thread would be helpful in this situation. Let me go through four and then I'll do the other separately. Like that. And it sticks it up nice and straight. So now let's go through this one. Wow, this is, yeah, I'm bending it just from pulling it. There. Might as well keep my pliers close by. Now we need to go up through these guys. So yeah, when I used to do the grocery shopping, I mean, we still use a list, but I'd get my list, I'd go through, and I'd go through so quickly and get out of there. And I always went, like if I went before picking her up from work, there was nobody there. You go after work, everybody is stopping in after work to pick up whatever they need for dinner. So go through that one that we added on, pick up one, and then go through the other side like that, and then go down through these guys and continue on. Let's see what we can do here. I went through a few of them there. Let's see if we can get through these guys. I think we're going to need the pliers for this one. I'm just guessing. If I get some thinner thread, I may redo this video. See, but you'll never know. Unless you see this one. You're like, she didn't get any. And actually, I think, so I, of course, get this from Potomac Beads, but usually when I order from them, I don't get charged duty. And my last order, for whatever reason, they decided to send it UPS. If it goes UPS, I have to pay. So if they send it through the postal service, I don't have to pay. So I'm like, I have to send them a message. If I order from them again, I'm going to say, please do not send it UPS. I think they thought they were doing me a favor because UPS only takes a couple of days. It's not a favor if I have to pay like $50. I feel like it's ransom for my order. Okay, this will be the last time we do this, so that's a bit of a relief. It's getting a bit gooey down there. Let me go through 3. Oh, I went through 4. And I have that magic tool stuff on my tools to prevent scratching of your bindings, and it actually helps to grip the thread too, so, or the needle. Go through this one separately. That's a good thing it's the last time we're going through that. And then up through these guys. There. So this one will be slightly different because we want to secure it a little better because we're not going to go back down everything. So we're going to go through like that, and we're going to go through it again. And of course I grabbed another thread. So this is what we have. That is the back of your crystal. So it will look like that. Like that. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to create these sections here. So we're going to go from the bead that we added on. We're going to add 2 11/0s, a pearl, 2 11/0s, go through the next added on bead there, and then we're going to add 2, a pearl, 2, and then through and go around. So I'll just keep that so you can see what that looks like. So pick up 2 11/0s, pearl, 2 11/0s. So that's what you're going to add on. You're coming out of this bead, you're going to go through the next single bead here, like that. Okay, and we're just going to continue all the way around. So let me grab these over here. So we're going to pick up 2 11/0s, a pearl, 2 11/0s. Oh, there's 3 on there. It's a good thing I showed them to you because I would have put that on. Not a big, but so 2, a pearl, and 2 coming out of this one. We're going to go into the next one, like that. And you don't have to pull it yet. We'll just leave it loose. So just continue that all the way around. That was our small one. I keep wanting to pick it up. I should have got rid of it earlier. So 2, a pearl, 2 coming out of this bead. We're going to go into the next one. That doesn't look like much yet, but it's amazing when you pull it tight. 2 is my favorite part. I don't know, I love doing this part too. Ah, so that's why I counted 3 on the last one. I thought my pearl was on. If I can find the hole. There we go. 1 and 2. Like that. This is the last one. So we're going to go through that one. Okay, so that's what you have. So I'm just going to flip it. It doesn't really matter which way it goes, but this way that knot is going to be covered by the Rivoli. So just set your Rivoli in the middle. Bit of maneuvering here. Just hold it in the middle and pull this tight. Where are we? Okay, so we're going in the opposite direction. Okay. So it's still kind of loosey-goosey. We're going to go through it again and tighten it. So go through everything. Except don't go through the corner beads. And what that does is it will pop it into this kind of square shape, and you can see the corner beads are sticking out, so that's what you want. And that will also cinch these guys in a little better. If you want it more rounded, then you would go through that on the second, but it may not be tight enough, so just now you can really tighten that. Okay, so remember, this is our corner bead. We're going to skip that one. We're going to go through the next 2 11/0s, through the pearl, through the 11/0s, and pull tight. That's got to go up there. Okay. Then we're going to skip that middle bead, and we're going to go through these guys, the 2 11-0s, pearl, 2 11-0s. Skip that middle one, go through the 2 11-0s, the pearl, and the 2 11-0s. Let's see if I can get that nice and tight. Okay, this is the last one. We're going to go through. So you skip that corner bead, go through the 2 11-0s, the pearl, and the 2 11-0s. There. Let me just set it down. It feels a bit loose, but let me see if I can get that nice and tight. Let me compare with the others. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's the same. Just want to double check this one. Oh, this one is kind of loose. Yeah, there is some give in that, but that's not going anywhere. Tight, so I might go through one more time and then tie off this thread. Go through. And get everything nice and tight. I'm just gonna see if I can tilt those in a little better so that these guys are up. There. So I am gonna put a knot. See if I can get it in through here. And hold that. Put down. This is there. And I'm just going to go through here. And down a few beads to hide my tail. Now that I just want to go through a few, the needle wants to go all the way. There we go. That's what I want to do. It's really bending my needle now. So, just clip that. You can leave your tails on and use it to weave in. You do have that option, and I did on the others. So there is this lovely crystal. So now we are ready. We are ready to add our crystals to our egg. So stay tuned for the next video, because the next video I'm going to show you how to add your crystals. Let's see if we can give you an idea what that's going to look like. This is going to be amazing. What? This is going to be awesome. So there you go. Stay tuned for that. Take care, everybody. Bye.